Greetings, followers. I haven't posted a video in a while, but my name is Kara. If you've never seen me actually on video before, my name is Kara and I am the face behind Releasing Grief. I'm posting this video today because I had a follower who was nice enough to reach out to me about my grief process and then generous enough to send me copies of each one of her books. And so I want to pass this information along with you and share these two books with you because, for one, I'm so thankful that she actually reached out to me and shipped the books to me. And I was thankful that someone else sees you, hears you, understands that grief is a long and hard process and wants to connect with you on that level and share some of their information with you. So I'm going to start out by showing you the adult version of the book. Okay. This is what the book cover looks like. It's called Can You Hear Me? Hope After Loss. And what I like about this book is this book takes you through her journey of actually finding out that her father had cancer. And most of it is kind of like a journaling process where she's going through the process of processing the information, understanding what's going on, trying to understand his diagnosis, and then things that happen thereafter. I don't want to share too much information, but we all know what that looks like if you have gone through a grieving process with someone who passed away of a terminal illness. And even if you haven't, it's still just good to read because it gives you insight and it gives you different emotions and things that you go through that are relative to any type of grief on any level. And what I really like about it, at the end of the book, she gives you some discussion questions. Okay? And I like that because it kind of like is telling you, well, we're not just going to go through my grief process, but I'm going to give you something at the end to help you process yours as well. So I really like the way she kind of, it's like a gift that keeps on giving because she's sharing her experience with you, and then she gives you questions to kind of make you think through your process and kind of help you move forward with the after. You know, we all know what the after looks like. It's not easy. Sometimes it's harder than the beginning stages where you experience the death, you go through the memorial and all of those things. And sometimes after is actually what's harder than the initial. Okay. So this book is given to you, available to you, in an adult version. And then there's also the children's book. Okay. So what I really like about the children's book, and what I do want to say about both books, something that I really admire was that she shared her thoughts as it relates to religion. And I'm a believer, and I consider myself to be a follower of Christ. I consider my faith to be one of the things that really held me and carried me through the grieving process. And I think that although I was, raised in church and always taught to be a believer, I think that the grieving process actually drew me closer to God when I didn't really know that I could get any closer. And anything that brings you closer to God, I think, is an experience that can present some positive in the midst of what seems to be negative. Okay, so here's the children's book. And I just want to highlight one particular thing from the children's book that I liked about it as it relates to a terminal illness. As someone who used to be a social worker in hospice, this book talked about the steps of what happens in the end when someone is passing away from a terminal illness. Most of the time, the process is similar, no matter what the illness is. Those last few days look very similar when a person is passing away from a terminal illness. And so I think having that verbiage in a book for a child is important so that they can understand what is going on. Even when we worked in hospice with adults, we always gave them information to let them know what the last days look like. And I don't want to go too graphic with that, but I like the way it's in the book, and I think that is helpful for a child because children process things differently, and a lot of times they understand more of what they see than what is actually going on when someone's trying to explain it to them. So to have it here, and then if the child is able to actually observe those things, I think that it would be more helpful in the child to understand what is going on. Okay, and the same thing at the end, this book offers self-reflection, journaling, and there is a link that is provided that you can go to as kind of like an extension to give you more information and topics to talk about. So thank you so much for sending me these 2 books. It really warmed my heart. Thank you to all the followers here. And I am so glad that we are able to connect and share our grief here. Because sometimes when you're grieving, it doesn't matter if it's someone that you know firsthand. It could be a stranger. Sometimes we just need to know that we have some type of support, and social media has been a good place to go for that. So thank you. I am going to tag the author, and the books are available on Amazon. So if you would like to order one, please do so. I think you will be satisfied with this purchase. Thank you.